All right, 3.4 is graphing of linear equations. When you see the word linear, what do you guys think of? A straight line is right. Linear is a line. When you think of an equation of a line, what do you think of when you think of an equation of a line? You have y equals mx plus b. So it's going to either have y equals some number x plus a number, or it might even just say like y equals 3 or x equals 2. If we have y equals 3, does anybody know what kind of graph this one looks like? If this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis.
Pointing straight up and down.
And how I do it is I think of it, y equals 3, that means it goes through my y-axis at 3. So 1, 2, 3. So it goes through your y-axis at 3. And the x's go through your x-axis. Yep, so this is my x and y. And I want you guys to make sure you write these down too. So then I won't do that example. But this is 1, 2. So this is my 2, so it's going to go through my 2, and it's going to go straight up and down. So that would be your x equals 2. So if it says x equals something, it means it goes straight through your x-axis. Y equals something, it goes through your y equals. All right. Looking at these, what I want you to do is we're going to, as a class, determine if the following, and you don't have to write all these down because you're gonna have some to do in a second, but we're going to talk about, are these linear or not? So, the first one, do you think xy equals 9 is linear? Remember, you're looking for something either y equals mx plus b, so whenever you have a product, that's not linear. So this one is no. What about this? We have 2r plus 7 is equal to 4s. Can we rearrange this so that it would look like y equals mx plus b? Yes, this one's not your paper that you have. This one's not, you're going to do the one, I'm going to do these ones with you, and then I'm going to have you do the ones on your paper. So we're just talking about these. You can just watch up here and talk together. So this one is yes. What about this one? It has a cube. Is that linear? No. Remember, this is not the one you have yet, ladies and gentlemen. This is just examples to show you. Even that this one says 8x minus 17y equals y. I can move this to the other side, combine like terms, and it still is linear. So this is yes. It is no, because you cannot have your variable on the bottom. So that's no. And the last one, is this linear? Remember, you can have x equals a number. So if I divided by 4, that would be a negative 3/4. So this is yes. All right, I want you to take your paper and see if you understand it. You should have the paper you just picked up. You didn't get it? Yeah, a couple of you grabbed it. Oh my gosh. All right, 1 through 10, I want you to look at it. Say yes or no real quick, 1 through 10. Anybody else didn't have it? I don't have it. Just write yes or no, 1 through 10. No, still, because it's still in your testing. And this V is the other. Why do you can't look? no. Or if it has, see how these are squared, those are no. You have them multiplied together, that would be no. And on the bottom, is a no. And now go through, you're looking for a square, multiplication, or like a division. Those are no's. The rest of them are linear. So don't really put yes or no next to them.
So is that all we're doing?
No, that's just the first part. But I didn't want you guys to have to write all these down. Plus, it's giving you part of your homework already. Check with your shoulder partner, see if you guys agree with them real quickly before we see if you guys agree. You don't understand. So what you're doing is you're looking that if it has a square, it's no. So that this one is yes because there's no square, there's no division, and there's no multiplication. Multiplications will look like that, like PQ. That's a no. Yep, that's no. Yep. If it's on the bottom, that's no. And then 10 is also a yes, because see how there's no, you're always looking and asking yourself, it can't have squares, multiplication, division. If it doesn't have those, then it is linear. All right. So the biggest thing is, remember, you're looking for anything that has the squares. You can go through and say, hey, this has a square. Just because it has a square, that's no. This one over here, that's no. Then you can look for multiplication. PQ is multiplication, so that's a no. You can't have division, so this one is a no. All the other ones, what you're looking at it, as long as there's only your y and x, then it's a yes. This one, remember, this would be a line that goes through our x-axis or y-axis. Y equals. It goes through the y. So this is a line that goes through your y-axis. So that's a yes. That's a line, so it's yes. Yep. This is goes through your x-axis. Yep. And this is yes. So the biggest thing is you can't have a square, can't be division, and it can't be a multiplication. Can't have a product of two things. So I want you to take a moment and see where my thing is. And now I want you, in your own words, to write what does it mean to be linear. I want you to write it real quick. So you, in your own words, and I'll hear some of you guys, what it means to be linear. Or what you have to look for, or what it can't have. So you have your own words written down. All right, Riley, what do you got for it? Oh, you're still writing? Josh, what do you got?
Has an unchanging slope.
Okay, it has unchanging slope. When you're looking at the equation, how would you be able to tell if it's a line versus not? So what are you going to look for?
Multiplication of squares.
So no multiplication between variables. No exponents besides your 1, so no squares. Anything else you guys put? No division. All right. Any other things that you want me to add to it? Okay, let's go on to our example 1 then. we're going to graph today using our x and y intercepts. Oop, I need to keep it small. Your intercept, remember, is where it crosses your x and y axes. X-intercept is where it hits the x-axis. Y-intercept is where it hits the y-axis. So your x-intercepts you have to tell me what a possibility of this could be. What could be a possibility of this point? So it could be 3, 0, right? So this point could be 3, 0, right? So it's going to be some number, and hopefully you guys realize it's going to be some number, comma 0. So what you have to do to find your x-intercept is you plug 0 in for x, or in for y, sorry. That's your y. For your y-intercepts, where are you going to plug 0 in for? Oh, there you go. So you're going to find your x and y-intercept, and then we will simply connect those 2 points, and that will create our line that we are finding. So this is the biggest thing, is to understand that your y-intercepts will always be 0, comma, and a number, and you have to plug in your 0 for x and solve for your y, and so forth the other way. So let's try one. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yep, we're gonna find it, and then we plot the points. Just let me know when you're ready. Okay. So our equation is 2x minus 3y equals 6.
Do you have that other sheet you were describing?
Yep. Okay, to find my x-intercept, what do I have to plug in? 0 for y. So we're going to have 2x minus 3 times 0 is equal to 6. At this point, some of you should be able already to tell me what x is. You should be able to look at that and say, I know what x is. It is 3. If you can't, it's okay. We'll do one more step. 2x is equal to 6. At this point, hopefully you can see that x is your 3. If not, divide by your 2. And then clearly we can see that it is 3. So our first one is 3, comma 0. Our y-intercept. How do you find the y-intercept? What do you have to plug in?
0 for x.
So we're going to plug in 0 here. So we're going to go 2 times 0 minus 3y is equal to 6. Some of you might be able to see it just with that. If you can't, it's okay. Go 0 minus 3y is equal to 6. You can say negative 3y is equal to 6. If you still can't, divide it out. So I know my next point is 0, comma, -2. All you have to do now is plot these 2 points. 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, and -2, or 0, -2. So you have 0, 1, 2, negative there, and connect your dots. So if your problem is set up where it's like this, X and Y intercepts, sometimes easier. You can definitely always solve for Y and then do a table. But if it's set up this way, your X and Y intercepts might be an easier way to graph. And I'm not quite sure if on the test or quiz they have what are your X and Y intercepts, but you better hopefully know how to find them. So I had to make sure I showed you. Alright. Questions? Anybody not have this? Alright, last example then. Example 2. You're welcome. We have here graph y equals 2x minus 3 and compare it with the graph y equals 2x. This is it. This is our last one. Since this is set up to the y equals mx plus b, the easiest way probably would be a t-chart, just like we did before, and that's what I would recommend. So we are going to do a t-chart with y equals 2x and find out 2 points. So I'll just pick 0 and 1. So 0 times 2 gives me 0. And then 1 times 2 gives me 2. And in a moment I'll plot those points. And then I have y equals 2x minus 3. And I'll pick the same points, 0 and 1. 0 times 2 is 0, minus 3 is a -3. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 3 is -1. So we're just going to plot these points. So 0, 0 is here. 1, 2 is up here. So that's my y equals 2x. On this one, we have 0, -3. And 1, -1. Alright, I'm going to stop there, and I want you, once you're at that point, I want you and your shoulder partner to try to see what you think, how can you compare these two graphs? What can you say? There's 2 things I'm looking for. See if you guys can think of the 2 things. Just wait, give everyone a second. I want everyone to talk to your shoulder partner and see what you think. Any ideas? Besides Nick says has something. Anybody else have any ideas of what happens? Bree, what do you guys think? No? Looking at this, How many? It moves down how many? 3. It moves down 3. So the one thing we can say is the graph y equals 2x minus 3 moves 3 units down from y equals 2x. Does anybody know what these two lines are called, Nick? They are parallel lines, yes.
Can we do the symbol for parallel lines?
Yes. They have the same slope, just so you guys know. And you can definitely do the symbol, which is that for parallel lines. All right. I gave you a sheet. Let's see if I can find it. Right here. Your assignment. Is this? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yes. Y-intercept. If it's this way, it's the y-intercept. Yep, we're going to talk about that tomorrow, but yep. But yep, you are correct. Tomorrow we're going to graph by y-intercept and slope. Yep. But yes, you are correct. Yep. Any other? All right. So you received this paper today. You already did 1 to 10. What you are going to do is you are going to graph 11 through, well, 11 through 35 odds. This is your book. This is your book, and I believe it's 125, 126 if you want to look at it. And look, when you check your answers, you are looking at the 3.4 answers. Are there any questions from 3.3 homework that you guys did that you have questions about that you want me to do as a class?
When are you going to check the next homework thing?
When you're turning them in at the day of the test, just like we did. So it'll be the day of the test, and I'll try to keep that running list up for you guys.
Is this our first homework thing?
Nope, that's our third one. This is I only have one up there, but we have 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. The ones that you guys wrote down. Remember how you guys wrote down your? Yep.
So you're not doing any homework checks. It's just going to be like the test and then when we turn it in at the end.
Yeah, I'm not going to walk around, but I'm going to answer questions and I am going to collect it. So make sure they stay up on it though. Yep. But I can but remember when I can walk around while you're work, because part of is participation, so you want to make sure you're working in class. So, but I'm not going to come around the next day and see if you finished it. But make sure you're working during class. Yep. Any others?
Am I bringing my calculator in?